This is me, Spoon Beast.
For years, this channel has been built off the backbone of my immense admiration for the Smash Bros. Series. Sure, my channel has had various other topics and directions over the years, but if it wasn't for the love I had for Smash, I wouldn't be making videos today. And this channel may have been a silent one just to watch my favorite videos on, and nothing else. I've never really delved into what Smash Bros. Means to me, or revealed to you guys my own history of getting into it and playing it until now. Welcome to the first part of my 3-part video retrospective of my experiences and thoughts of each Super Smash Bros. Game and what each of them have meant to me. We will begin naturally with the first game. My first memory of anything to do with this game is the old trailer they used to air on television in the peak of the Nintendo 64's run. In this commercial, 4 people in costumes assuming the roles of Mario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, and Pikachu frolic around a little field before suddenly beating the holy hell out of each other. Naturally, at the young age of 6, I thought this was one of the most amusing things I had ever seen. From here, the memories are only all the more vague, as I never did own a Nintendo 64 during its prime years. The first actual gameplay I can remember seeing of this game was when me and my brother were being babysat, and our babysitter's younger brother and his friends were all over playing Smash Brothers. I just remember being in awe that a game could feature Mario and Pokemon characters, let alone the rest of the roster as well. Eventually, me and my brother inherited that very Nintendo 64 and game when they no longer wanted it, and we got to play a little Smash Brothers of our own. Keep in mind, the GameCube was already getting into its own heights by this time, and I'll assume that Melee was even launched too. And this was where I truly was introduced to the gameplay and overall theme of Super Smash Bros. The ability to play as one of your favorite Nintendo icons and duke it out in 4-player action. What more could any young Nintendo fan ask for? Eventually, I noticed that there was also single-player modes in the game as well. Playable mini-games for each of the characters, those being board the platforms and break the targets. As well as a classic mode, which is a 1-player game where you fight through a variety of opponents, stage after stage. Which then leads me to the 4 hidden characters. Luckily, by the time I got into this series, the internet was really starting to make strides as a tool. It still wasn't commonplace or anything, but it was getting regularly used more and more. So I read up on ways to unlock all 4 secret characters. And as an impatient 9-year-old who is still very new to the game, this posed one of the biggest challenges of my young gaming life. Not for Jigglypuff, no, she was as basic as it gets. Beat classic mode and you immediately unlock her, and eventually I got so good at completing this mode that Captain Falcon 2 became a breeze since all you had to do was complete the same mode, but in under 20 minutes. My young struggles came from the attempts at unlocking Luigi and Ness. Today, for me, Luigi is the easiest and is always the first character I unlock, as I can complete all break the targets in my sleep, but you see, back then, that wasn't the case. The amount of fails is far beyond a rational count, but I kept at it more and more, and eventually I was able to complete and become so good at it that it's the easiest thing in the game for me, and board the platforms became the far harder bonus mode. Yeah, I still struggle with it at times. Shh. Ness, to this day, yeah, I might as well also get into this and get it off my chest, is still the most challenging person for me to unlock for this game. You have to complete classic mode on normal with only 3 lives and no continues. As simple as this sounds, it really isn't. Normal mode is like hard in this game, so it can be quite challenging, and before you know it, you can lose a life in the blink of an eye, or even get the dreaded continue screen. And when that happens, it's time to start all over again, because that's not allowed in this challenge. Then, if that's already not enough, when you get to the secret challenger, you have to beat them, because if they beat you, then you're forced to start the task all over again, to bring upon the agony some more. And yes, I have lost to Ness a number of times trying to unlock him in the past. Now, I'm sure most of you are wondering why I had to complete this roster for this game over and over again. Well, I never owned a Rumble Pack, which back in the day of the Nintendo 64 was a precursor to the memory card, which would actually be used later on the GameCube. Sure, there was built-in memory without this thing, but herein lies my problem. This was a particularly aged N64, and as I mentioned, I got it secondhand years after its peak, So the save data was always very faulty, and sometimes depending on the game, it would be wiped out of nowhere, and in a game like Smash Brothers, you would have to get every single thing you just unlocked all over again. With all the struggles I may have had as a youngster with this game, through it came just as many positives. Throughout my younger years, the memories of playing multiplayer with my brother, cousins, and friends, talking about it at recess before being excited to go home and play it again, when it was still relatively a new game to me, the gratitude I had when unlocking the entire roster, or a special stage, or even the item switch and sound menu options. Honestly, why, oh why did we need to unlock those anyway? Especially the item switch. In retrospect, which is what this is honestly, I'm glad they changed that from the sequel on. I really am. This game, alongside Kingdom Hearts, were really the two games that helped me get through a tough time from moving from my childhood hometown to the township that I reside in now and have for the last decade. Just the pure joy from getting to play these games was all I needed as a youngster, which translated into becoming a full-fledged fan of each franchise. Which means that when I got excited about a second sequel for Smash, I took to YouTube to share that excitement with all of you. And now look where I am yet again. Now I'm at a point where I'm about to head off to college, out of this town, and once again, for the first time in a decade, I'll be in an entirely new territory. I'm excited, but it'll be sad to leave what I have here behind for a while. But it's not really goodbye. And we all get to share the ride and hype to the 4th Super Smash Bros. Game together, as it's due by the end of this calendar year. Next week, I will be releasing my second part of this Smash retrospective with my overview of Super Smash Bros. Melee. As always, guys, it'd be greatly appreciated if you were to follow me on the Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams of this world. These social media outlets are always a great way of staying connected to me in between all of my YouTube activity. Please feel free to drop a comment on this video, share your opinions and memories on the first Super Smash Bros. Or even the other two if you need to go and that far ahead in the series. You know, you can even comment on my channel if you want. Hell, even add me on Skype, tweet me any idea gaming-wise, request a few ideas. Skype and the Twitter. I plug it every week, guys. Honestly. Great ways to stay connected to me. I don't bullshit. On that note, I am a frequent co-host of the I Got Gameplay podcast for RetroUnlim.com. It airs live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you all there, and have a good rest of your week, folks.